All right, you should have gotten the notification that we are recording. So again, my name is Morgan. I'm the study abroad advisor for programs in Germany, Austria, and Italy. Today, we're going to be talking about the UF in Florence Global Perspectives program. I am joined today by two of my colleagues. The first one is Jill Renivison. She is my supervisor here at the UF International Center. She has extensive experience working with the Italy programs. And she will be helping me to man the chat, man the wait room as well. And then I am also joined today by one of our two faculty that teach on this program, Dr. Alex. He teaches the Secrets of Alchemy course that we are going to talk about in just a little bit throughout the program itself. I will make sure that I leave some time at the very end for questions. If you put anything in the chat, just know that I can't see it on my one screen here at home, but Jill will be manning it as well. And then again, feel free to ask questions at the very end of the session. So for today's info session, we're going to be covering a lot of the logistics side of the UF in Florence program for 2025. We've got a general overview of the program itself, the courses, the dates, and costs. We do have an estimate that we're now publishing for the program itself. We don't have the final cost associated with this, but we are hoping to have that by December. We're also going to talk about financial aid and using grants, loans, and scholarships, Florida Prepaid, Bright Futures to cover portions of the program costs. And then again, like I said, I'll have some time for a Q&A as well. So for this program, the UF in Florence, we partner with Florence University of the Arts. This is an institution that's housed within 6 buildings in Florence's city center. They offer a unique blend of coursework that kind of pairs Italian culture and specifically Tuscan culture. They do a really fantastic job of having courses in a plethora of areas, and the campuses themselves are really unique, unlike UF, where everything is very centralized in one location. All of their campuses are much smaller and they're spread throughout city center. So you might have a course on one side of town and the other, but everything is within walking distance. Pictured here are just some of the photos that I've grabbed during my time as well. One of them is the courtyard right here with a big palm tree that's in one of the buildings. You can actually see the Duomo from one of the other campuses, which is just the big cathedral that's in the center of town. And then this third picture over here is one of the walkways out into another different courtyard on a different campus, and it features a lot of student art. So for summer dates, the way that the class schedule works is that classes are typically held Monday through Friday. Your schedules will vary. We're going to talk about classes here just in a second, how the class schedule works. Any time a course has any weekend requirements or any late night requirements, those are usually going to be either listed on the course themselves or within the syllabi that you'll receive on the first day of classes. Right now, students will arrive the first Monday of the semester. You'll have orientation that first Tuesday, and then the last Friday of your program is your departure date, and that coincides with these confirmed dates. So summer A, the dates that are listed, summer B, the dates that are listed. And if you're interested in potentially going for summer C, you're just going to use the arrival from session A and the departure for session B, because your classes will happen during both of those terms. So yeah, these are our confirmed dates that we have right now with Florence University of the Arts, or as you'll hear me call it throughout the presentation, FUA. I'll pause just in case anybody's taking a photo of this. And then I go on. So for course information, for this program, you must take 6 credits. Those credits must be either a mix of UFGPA, which is a course that is taught by somebody like Dr. Alex or Dr. Paul, the 2 faculty members associated with summer A or summer B, or credits that are taught by faculty at FUA. You can take a mix of the 6 credits. You can take the 3-credit UFGPA course that's taught during either summer A or B, and a transfer credit class that's 3 credits. You can take a 6-credit transfer credit class that is taught by FUA. It does not matter. It just matters that you're enrolled full-time and that you're enrolled in 6 credits in the program. We are going to talk a little bit about what the credits are right up here. So for FUA, for those of us that are all online. You can click the FUA courses link. I'll also have a link to the program brochure page at the end of the session if you want to use the QR code. But these are just a sample of the FUA courses that are available. They've got some food based classes that not only allow you to take like pairing food and wine or learning the history of foods, but you can also like learn with hands-on techniques in the kitchen as well. So there are some classes that are associated with actual kitchen learning skills. You'll be doing a lab in a real life kitchen, which is really cool. There are some culture-based classes that are focused on like fashion, Italian Renaissance architecture. There's lots and lots of art-based classes as well. And you don't need to have any art experience to be able to take some of these classes. If there are any prerequisites during the course registration process, which will happen after the deadline has closed, FUA will reach out for transcripts. They also have quite a few core and major based classes. If you're looking to take some marketing based classes, if you're really wanting to do an internship or a hands-on learning experience, you can definitely do that here as well. They have quite a few options for 6-week and 12-week internships. Not all of them will need Italian language. Some of them will need Italian language just depending on how intense it is. But you can definitely find an intern. They'll help you find an internship within your subject area and with your language course as well. Well, your language ability, excuse me. Some classes also include field learning. If there is any field learning associated with it, it will say it in the course description on FUA's website. This might be to travel out and around Florence, the city itself. They might be going to a neighboring town. They might be going to a different side of Florence, maybe the more local side of things outside the tourist area. If there's any field learning that is associated with it, just check the academic course search when you're looking at it. It'll list it in the content area of that class. Some courses also include community engagement member institutions or CHEMIs. These CHEMIs are an opportunity for students to actually engage in the local community as well within Florence. They include working in Fedora, the pastry shop, or Gonzo, the restaurant, either in front of house or back of house ways. You can learn how Italian kitchens operate in terms of choosing menus, picking local produce, making things that are within season, as well as on the front of the house and engaging in almost like the customer transaction between the people that are coming into the pastry shop or restaurant. For the Fly Fashion Shop, students are working in a vintage resale boutique. They're curating what is in store. They're also working with the designers and makers of FUA's design school to make materials to sell at the shop as well. These are really incredible ways to not only get engaged in the community, but also really get to see how different business sides of how different the business is internationally. Any hours that are associated with CHIMI courses are assigned after FUA's drop period. So remember, like your orientation is that Tuesday, you'll get your hours the next day, Wednesday, first day of classes. And they can vary anywhere from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Obviously, if you're picking a 3-credit class, your CHEMI hours would probably be less than if you pick a 6-credit class. So that's definitely something to keep in mind during this academic experience. I'm actually going to pause right now because I know I saw in the participants that we do have some SAPAs. SAPAs, if you do not mind unmuting and just telling the students a little bit about the classes that you potentially took or your experience in this, that'd be so helpful.
So my name's Emma. I did UF in Florence after my freshman year, and I'm a senior now, so it's been quite a while. But I took Intro to Italian and Grow, Cook, and Heal, which was like a horticulture class. And I really recommend both. Intro to Italian was really nice because I didn't have to go out of my way to learn extra Italian. And I felt like you don't need to be fluent in Italian by any means when you go, but it is really nice to have some like key phrases to learn. And then the horticulture class was really cool. We got to like go to the Four Seasons Garden as like a class assignment, which was amazing. And you just get to see so many beautiful gardens of Florence that, and just random places that you would never go by yourself. So it was really fun.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a letdown. I actually didn't do this program. I did another program, but I was in Florence for a week and it was like one of the most magical places I've ever been. We were actually just talking about how like it's honestly unreal while you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can maybe provide more about the city, but not necessarily the classes. That's my bad.
No worries. I will definitely ask you about that at the end as well. All experiences are valid. Um, but yeah, so the community engagement side of things are definitely really helpful if you are looking to not only take classes abroad, but really get involved in the community during your academic experience. So we do have 2 UF Talk courses. I don't believe that I saw Dr. Paul Richards here on the call, which is totally fine. I'll talk a little bit about his class and then I'll also turn it over to Dr. Alex to talk about his. But one of the first classes that we have is the Florentine Camerata. This class itself, you do not need to have any musical background to participate. It's a really great opportunity to see the innovations during the Renaissance and how those innovations have really impacted the music experience of those now. Not only will you get to learn about a little bit about the music history side of things, you'll also get to visit some of the musical devices that were pioneered during the time, some of the instruments that were used. You'll actually get to see them as well. Like I said, you don't have to have any music experience. You don't have to have any experience reading music or playing music or anything else. Something that's really cool as a part of this program is that he does usually have some experiential like field trips associated with the class to go out and go to visit a lot of the museums that are there. They usually visit the Duomo, and then they'll attend a couple of local concerts, which is really cool. Some of them vary from innovative music to classical music. These are what the excursions are slated to go to, but it's really an incredible experience. I'll make sure that at the very end, I'll have the QR code. I'll also pull up the program brochure page so you can reach out to Dr. Paul if you are interested in your program. I am now going to turn it over to our Summer B faculty, Dr. Alex. I know that he is not turning on his video for right now, but Dr. Alex, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your class.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to talk to the students. And thank you all for joining us on this Zoom call. So I'm teaching my Secrets of Alchemy course this summer B in Florence. And you might wonder what is alchemy all about. Maybe you've heard about it when watching your favorite Harry Potter movie or reading the books, or if you're familiar with the manga series Full Metal Alchemist. These are, of course, modern renderings and caricatures of what really happened with alchemy. Alchemy historically is the precursor to chemistry, but don't worry, you don't have to be knowledgeable in chemistry at all to enjoy the course. It is really a history and a philosophy of science class. And so no chemistry knowledge is necessary to take the class or enjoy the class. We're going to focus on the secrets of alchemy, right? So the secrets that are associated with the alchemical recipes, like the recipe to make gold or the elixir of life. And some of these recipes we will actually work on in the lab. So I don't really have a full-blown chemistry lab in Florence. I have a teaching kitchen. And so the labs that we're going to do are labs that we can actually do in a kitchen. So one of the experiments that we're going to do as a class is to make gold, probably similar to what the alchemists used in order to make their gold. We're going to follow an ancient Florentine recipe of the elixir of life, which is a very interesting way of using pigments and using bugs to make something it's an alcoholic drink. And obviously we're not going to taste it, but we're going to make it in the lab. and it was considered to be the elixir of life and was invented in Florence in the 11th or 12th century. There's also another experiment where we extract essential oils, and maybe we'll have enough essential oils to actually have everybody get a little bit of a perfume out of it. So the class is experiential. We're going to have a lab. We're also going to have tours in the city and around the city. So this is perhaps the highlight of the course. Florence was a hotbed of alchemy during the Renaissance. And so there's lots of stuff to see in Florence and in the museums that reminds us of alchemy and allows us to better understand alchemy. There are two important museums that we're going to have a guided tour in: the Pitti Palace and the old palace, the Palazzo Vecchio. By the way, I think my course is the only course that actually provides guided tours to these museums for you. And then we're going to visit the Boboli Garden, which is the huge garden surrounding the Pitti Palace, and discover an alchemical path that the Medici dukes actually set up there. And if things go well, we'll also visit one of the most important villas of the Medici dukes in the surroundings of Florence and look at the alchemical secrets there. So that's in a nutshell what the course is about. I get good reviews from my students. They like it. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it too if you choose to participate in the course, and I invite you to email me and ask any further questions. Do you actually have my email address on your slide somewhere, Morgan, that you can?
I do. It'll be right at the end when I pull up the program brochure page.
Yes. So again, if you have any questions about the class, email me, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to share the syllabus with you, give you more information. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks, Dr. Aha, there we go. So yes, those are the two faculty-led programs that we have. Dr. Paul Richards is during summer A, and Dr. Alex is during summer B. We also have, these are options for you to do as well on top of the 6 credits that you'll be taking. They have an optional 1-week cultural introduction to Florence course if you'd like to get there early and get to see Florence before all of your peers arrive. This course is so brand new that this is the first year that they're offering it, so I don't have a ton of background information to provide to you about it. But it is 1 week, an additional week in Florence. You'll get to travel around and outside of Firenze, and you'll get to actually look at Tuscany, the region as a whole. As soon as I have cost information, I'll update the program brochure page as well for you to have. But there is a secondary 1-week cultural class that you can take. It is Cultural Introduction to Italy. This one, unlike the previous one, starts in Rome. You'll send your bag up to Florence a week ahead of time, and then you'll spend the week hitting a couple of cities and towns from Rome to Florence before the program starts. It's an incredible experience to get to travel through the Tuscan coast, Cinque Terre. You'll get to visit quite a few of the smaller towns as well that you might not have known about. This course itself is an additional cost. I know I have an estimate of what the 2024 estimate was. Like I said, as soon as we get everything finalized, the program brochure pages will be updated. But I know that students that I have talked to that have done this course itself usually state this is the time that they're developing their community. They're finding their other friends, not just that are from UF, but from other institutions that are participating in the 1-week course. And those friends end up being the people that they hang out with, that they do things with, that they have classes with during the rest of those 6 weeks. So if you're looking for an additional 3 credits to the 6 credits that are a part of the program, this is definitely a good option if you want to travel around Italy a little bit. Just some academic notes. You have to be enrolled in 6 credits. Like I said, it can be a combination of one of the UF faculty taught classes in addition to 3 credits at FUA, or 6 transfer credits at the Florence University of the Arts, FUA. No UF online classes can supplement for the credits on the course. Again, you have to be taking 6 credits as a part of this academic institution. You'll have to be enrolled for the entire 6-week duration. That 6 weeks is either during summer A, summer B, or if you're doing summer C, all 12 weeks. You can take, they have quite a few options for classes. You can take a 3-week, 3-credit class the first 3 weeks, and a 3-credit class the second 3 weeks, and that would be your 6-credit in 6-credit 6-week enrollment. You can also find a 6-credit 6-week class to take. Regardless, you just have to be enrolled for the entire 6 weeks during this academic program. And then the Intro to Florence or Intro to Italy cultural introduction classes, the ones that are the week before either summer A or summer B, are in addition to 6 credits. That makes it a total of 9 credits for the 7-week program if you're interested in doing something like that. I am going to pause really quick if anybody has any questions about the credits right now. You can drop it in the chat, you can unmute yourself, or you can hold it till the end. That's totally fine. Okay, that's cool. If you have questions, like I said, Jill is monitoring the chat and we'll have space at the very end. So housing. Housing is through either local apartments and dorm-like facilities throughout Florence, the city center. You're typically within 20 to 30 minutes of one of the campuses that FUA has. It might mean that if you're taking 2 different classes, maybe you are a 10-minute walk from your first class and maybe a 20 to 30-minute walk from your second class. It just depends. Florence as a city is very, very old. That means all of the buildings are very, very old. Unlike Gainesville, where a lot of our buildings have been built within the last like 10 years, and a lot of the apartment complexes you might live at currently are built within the last 5, that is not how it works in Florence and Italy. Lots of the buildings that you'll end up living in are anywhere from like 200 to 400 years old. This means they have very thick walls. Your Wi-Fi might not work really great in your bedroom, but it works really great in your living room. None of them have centralized air conditioning like what we have here in the States. But on the positive side, they're very, very cute and they have tons of charm. You'll have some shared bedrooms, bathrooms, living area, and a fully furnished kitchen. So if you want to save some money on the program and cook in your apartment, you definitely can. You can request to live with one other program participant. If you would like, if you know another student that's going on the program, you can just mutually request each other. You can't request like a whole group of people to live together. You can definitely request to live with one other person. If you don't know anybody else going on the program, that is no problem. You will get, I guarantee you'll get to know your roommates, your classmates as well, really well. If you would like to upgrade your housing in single, doubles, or triples, all of that pricing information will be posted on the program brochure. Like I said, as soon as we have all of that information finalized. So the best place to find the most updated info is on the program brochure page, which I'll show you at the very end of this presentation. So for 2025 summer, right now our program fee is TBA. We have an estimate. It should be somewhere between $6,400 and $6,600 for the semester. That is if you're doing summer A or summer B. Summer C, we don't have an estimate quite yet for it, just because it's not a combination of doing both. As soon as I have an estimate, I'll be sure to post it on the program brochure. As part of the application itself, there is a non-refundable $395 administrative charge that you'll put that goes towards the overall program cost. That includes your tuition for up to 6 credits. So if you decide that you want to do another class, or if you decide that you want to do the 1-week introduction class, that's an additional charge. Your housing is included. Any in-country travel associated with your course field learning or your course itself is included in this. 20 meal plan units to be used at Gonzo, Fedora, or Segovia, the school's restaurant, pastry shop, and wellness lab, and then your international health insurance and emergency medical assistance. The big thing that's not included in this is your round trip airfare, which honestly I think works out for most students, just because you can choose the airport to fly out of, so you can get the best deal that's needed for you. A lot of the meals that you'll get on your own, any of the housing housing upgrades, if you so choose to do so, are not included, and any personal travel that you do outside of the academic experience that you do on weekends is going to be on you as well. Like I said, this is an estimate. This is not the for sure price. This is just to give you an idea of how much it will cost per term. So financial aid. Let's talk about financial aid. Students, you can use your Bright Futures to go towards the program as long as it is at least 6 credits. Since this is a 6-credit program, you can definitely use that. It pays out based on UF tuition rates, which I provided a quick little conversion. So you can multiply either the 100% or the 75% based on the number of credits that you'll be taking. So either, 6 credits for summer A, 6 credits summer B, 9 credits, however much. That is how much Bright Futures will pay out. Florida Prepaid completely depends on your own plan that you have with Florida Prepaid. As far as we know, like you can log into your Florida Prepaid account, see if you have credit available, how much it typically pays out, and you can do your own estimation. But just like with UF tuition, you can still stack your benefits. So you can still use prepaid and Bright Futures to go towards the cost of your tuition as part of the program cost. For most loans, it just depends. I know a lot of them require you to be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours to apply. I always recommend to students, we are not the Student Financial Aid Office. If you have questions about a specific loan or grant, I highly recommend that you go talk to the Student Financial Aid Office and let them know that you're interested in doing a 6-credit study abroad program. They'll be able to kind of help you navigate the fine print of your loans or grants to determine whether or not you can use those for this type of program. I will say there's typically some language in some of them that only allow you to use your loan or grant for UF GPA classes, and this program has a lot of transfer credit. So I would urge you, if that is the stipulation of your grant or loan, maybe consider a different program. All right. And then scholarships. Our scholarships for the summer have already opened. We offer scholarships up to $1,000 from the UF International Center. To be so blunt and real, applications are pretty competitive for the summer term just because we have a very, very saturated applicant pool. The more applications we have, the more competitive scholarships are. But that doesn't mean that you should not apply for one. Applications are through Scholarship Universe. This is our first year running it through Scholarship Universe as a whole. We do have a little bit of a guide of how to apply. I definitely recommend checking that out. We also offer throughout the semester, maybe not right now just because the semester is basically over, but during the spring we will have scholarship information sessions and scholarship writing workshops. So feel free to attend those and learn about not only the UF International Center scholarships, but the UF Study Abroad Peer Advisor Scholarship. They offer scholarships anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for students studying abroad. And as an added bonus, if you happen to miss the UF International Center deadline, you can typically apply for the UF Study Abroad Peer Advisor Scholarship because their deadline is usually a little bit later than ours. Lots of departments and colleges on campus also offer scholarship opportunities. I would recommend just checking out our scholarship page. It will link you to the appropriate department or college. You can apply for those if it's applicable to you. If you happen to be a Pell Grant recipient, you can apply specifically for the Gilman Scholarship. They offer anywhere up to $5,000 for a study abroad program during the summer, and it's definitely worth your time to get started on your essay as soon as possible. We also have a bubble on our website that is national scholarships. Those vary just based on location. There's scholarships that are based for women, for men, for persons of color. There are scholarships for regional programs, for specific area of study programs. It's kind of just a big catch-all. Usually what I recommend to students that are looking for scholarships is don't just depend on things that are within the UF community, because all UF students are applying to those. Do some legwork, look at the national scholarships bubble, use the study abroad search engines that are at the very bottom to look for outside funding opportunities that are outside of the UF community. Typically, the students that are getting the most money for study abroad are also doing the most work to apply to different scholarships. So definitely look at that national scholarships bubble. If you want a student's perspective, you can always talk to a study abroad peer advisor. I have several study abroad peer advisors who have done the UF in Florence program. They're always happy to chat and talk to students that are considering a program, what the application process is like, what the course registration process is like. I always recommend that you talk to a study abroad peer advisor for those kinds of questions. Or you can read our Global Gator blog. This is a completely student-run blog. Students kind of treat it a little bit more like diary entry style. They have the opportunity to really connect with the location. If you're considering more than one program, it's a great way to really learn a little bit more about the meat of the location itself before selecting your program. So what the next steps are, at this point, if you're really interested in the UF in Florence program, you can open an application. All of the documents that you need are found within the application, including the academic advising form. You'll need to make sure that that form is signed by your academic advisor, and if you plan to take one of the UF faculty taught classes, by that applicable UF faculty. So either Dr. Paul or Dr. Alex will sign off on that form if you plan to take their class. If you only plan to take Florence University of the Arts coursework, you'll just need your academic advisor to sign it. Not me. I am not your academic advisor. Once you've completed it, you'll make sure to follow the instructions on the academic advising form for submission and complete all of the rest of the documentation. At that point, once your checklist reads 15 out of 15, you're completed. You'll have to just sit tight for next steps that will be sent out either early January for summer AC or early March for summer B. There is no need to check on the update for it. You don't have to worry about contacting me if your application's complete. Just look at the checklist itself. On the other side of it, for both programs, we offer for summer A and summer B, there are 250 seats per term. So we have a very large capacity. If we happen to meet that capacity before the deadline, I will close applications and we'll send out information earlier than anticipated. But as of right now, we are not close to that capacity yet. So if you're considering this and you really want to apply, you definitely still can. The other next step is to go ahead now and apply or renew your passport if it is expired or going to expire. That's an on your own thing. We have passport services here on campus out near the Lakeside complex, so you can definitely get that done here on campus. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the program brochure page here that has Dr. Alex's and Dr. Paul's contact. But I am going to go ahead and stop recording just so that way I can help answer any questions that students have. But thanks so much for watching this info session. And if you don't have any questions, then I hope you have a great weekend and best of luck on all of your exams. Go ahead.